Rizal's annotation of Antonio de Morga's Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas. Rizal comments that the Philippines of his time was no better than the pre-Hispanic Philippines. He says it could have developed on its own into something great. According to Rizal, Filipinos has a system of writing and advanced knowledge of metallurgy and the shipbuilding industry. Rizal knew that the Spaniards wouldn't like his work with it being banned in the Philippines. Antonio de Morga Sanchez Garay was a Spanish soldier, a lawyer, and a high-ranking colonial official for 43 years in the Philippines. He was also a historian, and he published the book Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas in 1609, considering one of the most important works in the early history of the Spanish colonization of the Philippines. Dr. Jose Rizal was an earnest seeker of truth, and this marked him as historian. He had a burning desire to know exactly the condition of the Philippines when the Spaniards came ashore to the islands. His theory was that the country was economically self-sufficient and prosperous, entertained the idea that it had a lively and vigorous community. He believed that the conquest of the Spaniards contributed in part to the decline of the Philippines' rich traditions and culture. By publishing his annotated version of the Morga's Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas, or Events of the Philippine Islands, originally published in 1609, Rizal's intent was not only to provide the Filipino people their early history, a pre-Spanish history, but to present to them their own authentic culture and identity. The state of the Philippines during the pre-colonial period by comparing the point of views of Morga and Rizal. In body tattoo, Morga said, draws pattern first before putting black powder where the blood goes out. In society, the body tattoo, Morga said that the native, also known as Visayans, a pattern drawn by putting powder where the blood comes out, and Rizal agree with Morga that it is the same method as the Japanese. When it comes to the drinking of the natives drinks heavily, and Morga said they all end up drunk during any gathering. In every gatherings, the natives used to eat and drink the whole day until sunset. But according to Rizal, in his annotation, he quoted Father Colin, who said it is common knowledge that they drink a lot, but no matter how inebriated they seem to be, after a gathering or a feast, they can always find their way home. When it comes to the food of the natives, they eat beef and fish, which they know is best when it has started to rot and stink. But according to Sarisal annotation, Spaniards, like any other nation, treat food to which they are not accustomed or is unknown to them with disgust. The fish that Morga mentions is bagoong, which is salted and the fish that Morga mentions that cannot be good until it begins to rot is that what we call the bagoong, and those who have eaten and tasted it know that it neither is nor should be rotten. When it comes to marriage, family, and household, according to Antonio de Morga, the groom contributes to dowry, which they receive from his parents. The bride does not bring anything until she inherits from her parents. The house where the parents and children lives is called bahadin. Inasawa is a wife married to a native man. But according to Sarisal, a Filipino woman helps her husband and is not seen as a burden. In Tagalog, a house is called pamamahay. It is impossible that bahadin is printed for bahayin. Asawa is the term called for the wife of the native man. Rizal annotation work serves to awaken to all Filipinos their consciousness of our past, about the inhumane ways of ruling here in our country of the Spaniards, to plant to every memory that falsified statements of Morga about the native.